Hey, what's going on, guys? Phil here, and welcome back to some Mechwarrior Online news. We've got the dev vlog from October in November. Better late than never. All right, so let's go dive in, and I'm going to talk about some of the takeaways that I felt is important to mention. Obviously, you can go watch it. It's about 40 minutes long. But if you just want like a TLDR, just watch this. I'm going to just do a quick recap. Some important things to point out is on the new Viridian Bog. Francois does mention basically that he's going to be expanding the conquest points, or at least cap points, out into this new area. I did point that out during gameplay, is that there's really still not any reason to go over there other than flanking. This entire time since the map has been out, I'll be honest, I've actually really enjoyed the map, but not this edition. I literally have not fought over here once. I have fought near where Theta used to be, but as far as this extension, there's really no gameplay incentive. And again, there's no hard cover out there. Yes, you have the visible cover, but that doesn't block you from being locked on. So again, it's sort of dead area, so it's good to hear that they're basically working on that. Next up is they talk about basically the new map. This is Hellebore Springs from a faction play map. Some takeaways. Basically, don't look at the FPS, even though some of you guys will probably get 25 FPS. It is what it is. It's an old engine. Basically, Francois is really enjoying basically the process. They've got some new screenshots. Here's one we've seen before, but if we pop over here, this is actually a new thing. He talks a lot about verticality, which I adore. I love the verticality Rubelite Oasis. This is a Canyon network slash Rubelite slash HPG. That's what he sort of says. You're going to have all these verticality you can pop around, and there's going to be some really fun spots. He talks about the ability to be able to brawl, the ability to snipe, the ability to skirmish, have lerms, but there's going to be a lot of cover. I really dig this aesthetic here. Just me personally, I like the sort of nature of it. He called these mushrooms some rock mushrooms. I really dig that. He said you can basically bound from one to the other, and you've got some really interesting spots here. Here's another view of a cap point. Again, you can sort of see these rock formations, very canyon network, but of course, Hellebore. And obviously we see some details here, the trees, the fauna. And speaking of the fauna, the color scheme, I actually really dig the color scheme. I think it's really cool. I think it'll be a nice break from like the Canyon Network is very bland in my opinion, so a little bit of color pop is cool here. He talked about how the trees are going to add cover as far as physically. The trunk stop rounds, but it doesn't stop lock-ons. He talked about again, the ability to move around. I really dig it. I like the fact of he's happy. If you've never watched that podcast, by the way, go watch that. Francois, he's an awesome dude. They are using some assets from Termline. It's interesting if they're going to leave them this color or if they're going to be changing it. I definitely dig the aesthetic. And they talked about future maps, potentially new maps as well. They talked about a few things like here. Here's an aerial shot where you can sort of see the development process. This is that area where it had the rock mushrooms earlier. It's just a top-down view, and he's working on like waterfalls and so forth and so on. So they did talk a little bit in detail as far as potentially future maps as well. And him doing a brand new map. So this is a rework of a faction play into a quick play map. They've talked about him doing a new map. Obviously, that'll be in 2022 if and when it happens. And speaking of if and when it happens, they talk about the world comp scene and the tournament supporter pack. I've talked about this a lot. It's really exciting to watch. If you can watch the matches, I definitely recommend tuning in. They are posting on their website as well. It'd be cool to see if there's some dates and times for the streams as well. But tournament supporter pack, I did a video on this. It really didn't get a whole lot of traction, but if you are watching this and you haven't bought the tournament supporter pack, I would highly recommend it. And again, why? It's because you get 10% boost through like February, March. Like, why wouldn't you do that? So that stacks for those that want to do math. That's 50% premium time, 30% on a mech if it's a 30% C-build boosted mech, 10% here, and then that brings you to 90. So it's like 95 if you do the C-build cockpit hanging items that have been in some of the packs. It's worth it. Also, you're supporting a tournament support pack. Obviously, with the MW Comp Championship Series, the only thing I would be wary of is right now there's some accusations of cheating going on. I did reach out and did a video on that. I reached out to PGI, asked them for a response. I also heard from MW Comp as well. They're, of course, working with PGI, but really it comes down to PGI has to look into it. So they're just, they're passing on any information they get about it, and hopefully it is nothing, but just to sort of be aware of it, I just wanted to be fair. That's why I covered it. All right, so let's move on to the annual rewards program. One thing to note, they talked about the ECM Irby. And everyone, of course, wants the Irby. I don't know what your fascination is with the little thing, but it's coming. They talked about the tournament support pack. If you get that, actually qualifies for this. So if you didn't want to just buy MC, you could go and just buy the tournament support pack and you get qualified for this. Now, if you're watching this down the road, this is already passed and you won't have the opportunity. But if it's recent, go do that if you want that particular mech. And the other thing is they talk about the Atlas jump jetting. And again, just to clarify, it's the AS7 K3. The K3 is designed on the K2. The K2 is a Gauss rifle, 2 ER large, 2 streak 6 jump capable ECM Atlas. The K3 removes the streak 2s, puts 1 streak 4 on, and gives it jump jets. So this is going to be a jump capable ECM Atlas with at least 1 ballistic hardpoint, at least 2 energy hardpoints, and at least 1 missile hardpoint. I don't know if they'll expand on that. My thought process is probably just because you're going to need to inflate the hardpoints a little bit to make it comparable to like the other Atlases and of course what it's going to be going up against. But just to sort of let you guys know, it also comes with an XL400, which means 64 kph, but on an Atlas. So just sort of keep that in mind. The next up thing is the trick or treat. If you're watching this past like November 8th, this is already gone. The Hunter booster pack, I've been pleasantly surprised by the booster pack, the Hunter booster pack, in particular the Stalker. They did talk about the additional hardpoints they added to the left or right torso. So basically it has 9 energy and 2 missile. Out of the 2, I was expecting me to enjoy the Phoenix Hawk more, but to be honest, it's a Phoenix Hawk. It's okay. It's got mask. It goes fast. You know, it's okay. I just would rather, I think, play the 2 with 6 medium pulse and ECM. That's just me. The Stalker, been pleasantly surprised. Like I said, a whole host of builds from 5 large pulse to 8 large lasers to 9 small lasers and MRM40s. You name it, you can pretty much do it on the Stalker. It's actually been pretty versatile. So again, I will do credit where it's due. Jay-Z, you have converted me. I do like the Stalker. I can't believe I just said that. That's just so odd. Now, the next up, they talked about the Predator pack really quick. They don't really go into details, but there's that. Also, scary good sales. Unfortunately, by the time they launch this, this is already over. So yeah, thanks. Good one. That's really the biggest issue, is that took them so long, literally so long, 3 weeks. This is actually week 4 when this devlog was supposed to come out. So this literally doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and move on. Also, I will note that they did ask, going back to the question they asked Francois, and he said, he asked Francois, what mech would you use bouncing around? And he said BLT, the BLT. And then they said, spoilers. I don't know what that's in reference to. And they sort of glossed over it and just moved on. BLT mech, I don't know. I don't know if that's a new chassis they're looking at. I don't know of anything. My chat at the time on Twitch was trying to figure it out. They were looking on Sarna. We couldn't really figure, maybe a trebuchet. I don't know, but the BLT bacon, lettuce, tomato mech, obviously, and it's going to be delicious. So it's coming to a store near you. So apparently, but yeah, I don't know what that was, but I just wanted to bring that up. And of course, the next bit here is the looking forward. And this is what they're talking about moving into 2022. Basically, the gist of it is there's nothing new coming out except for that map in December. No changes, no maps in November. We are getting a patch on December 14th. And obviously, for those that don't know, everybody goes on holidays, Christmas, New Year's, and so forth. They're talking about 2022. Everything's still on the table. They don't have a new roadmap. They didn't meet all their goals for 2021. But and I quote, don't worry, it'll be fine. So there's a few things that I don't like here that I'll just be very blunt about. Darren, uh, that let's just see it. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean, obviously some of you out there are going to be like, well, what about this? What about this? Don't worry. It's, because we didn't achieve necessarily everything we wanted to this last year, doesn't mean it's disappearing. It just means it's getting bumped into 2022. As I said previously, I understand potentially disappointment there that we didn't get it this year. I can be impatient as well or want things to happen faster. But what I get excited.
I'm going to go ahead and clarify this. We're not being impatient. You didn't hit your deadlines. That has nothing to do with us, the community. That's not the right word to use, and I don't like that you used it. Obviously, I know you're probably on the spot. You're working on this video, but words matter, and we're not being impatient. You've had well over a year. Has nothing to do with impatience at that point, so I don't like that at all. And of course, don't worry. Well, here we are, getting a devlog that has content that's already late, like the sales info and stuff like that. And also, no roadmap for 2022. You talk about potential, resources and things and plans, but we have no idea what that is. You basically say that things are rolling over from 2021 to 2022. Well, based on everything we know, you don't have resources. We're still waiting on word from Koku. We don't know anything. So telling us to don't worry, I don't like those word choices. And yeah, that's not cool. Now, the good news out of this is they talk about a new Russian server. Yes, you heard me right. Russian server. Also, Russian localization as far as pricing. This is actually really cool. They said it's going to be launching soon. I don't think they gave a specific, but launching soon. So for those that don't know, and again, that basically will be a new server box. So you'll have NA, EU, Russian, RU, and Oceanic. And of course, there's that. So I'm actually really intrigued about that. I don't know if that means like new UI. I'm assuming when it says localization, I don't know if that means also audio and stuff like that. I don't know. But anyways, that's super cool. And I look forward to maybe in 2022 if they start adding servers. That'd be really cool if we see some, again, I know Singapore, I know Brios and a few others out there. Would love to see some of those countries get localization as well, and servers that are local, of course. But anyways, that is actually really cool. But other than that, guys, that's a TLDR, just really quick breakdown. There is a lot of promise, or I shouldn't say promises, talk at the end here. But that's the exact same thing we've heard for the past year. I'm not going to put any weight into it until we actually hear from them and say, hey, we actually have resources. It's all just what ifs at this said point in time. But out of the stuff that we've seen so far, the new map coming from Hellebore, that's really cool. Of course, I like that fact of we get a new server. That would be really cool, and until it happens, of course. But yeah, that's your October devlog from 2021 happening in November of 2021. And I hope you enjoyed this. If you found it informative, click that like button. Leave a comment down below. Are you excited about the content that was talked about? Yeah, I just want to say I want to keep encouraging everybody out there, including Matt and Darren and the MW crew. You guys are doing a great job. But I will say this. Whoever's listening, if they're listening, whoever's at the tippity top of PGI or EG7, give these guys more resources. They need it. We need it. And if you don't want to lose your population in the next year or two, give them more people. Do it. What else do we have to do? What? You want a kidney? I'll give you a kidney. I'm not going to give you my kidney. Do your job. Give them money. All right. That's going to be it. I will see you on the next video. Until next time.